Exhale some love and give us some love. Calm it down. Let's calm it down. Let's shift gears. We welcome everyone that's here today. If you'll close your eyes and pray with me. We needed a laugh. That was God calling. And so I ask, bring us all together, mold us as one in the love of God, and let us enjoy this day that we had faith to know that even though we're having a festival, it's not gonna rain. Amen.
How's everybody this morning? I hope you're well. Take a second right now. I want you to repeat something after me. But what I want you to do right now is to look at your neighbors, look at your friends, and repeat something after me, please. Good morning.
Good morning.
I love you this morning. And I sure do appreciate your being here. Okay, now you're loving your neighbor more. And we are happy to see everybody here this morning. It's a big day for our church. We have this special this afternoon. I want to share a personal story to prepare us perhaps for some of what we're going to celebrate later on in the park with each other. You know, I love my wife, a beautiful wife, a great deal. And I wanted to get her something special for Christmas. So I went to a jewelry store, and I bought a very nice item for her recently. And because it costs a little more than usual, I felt like I should use a credit card for it. I'll pay it off at the end of the month, but I wanted to use the credit card to start it. So as I hand the attendant my credit card, she said, "Oh, you forgot to sign the back of it." So I said, "Can I borrow your pen?" And I signed the back of it. And then she gave me the receipt, and I signed the receipt. She took the credit card, turned it to the back, and looked at the receipt, and compared the two, and looked at me. Then she looked at the receipt and the credit card again and looked at me. I said, "Well, does it match?" She says, "It's close enough." You're not going to get that kind of treatment at our festival this afternoon, okay? No, I hope you do enjoy your time there. And we just are going to celebrate our time with each other. We've really enjoyed the opportunity to bring this together. And look at this jacket on my minister over here. Now, that's a special jacket. Very nicely done. Okay. Now I'm going to ask you to repeat some things with me again, because we do affirmations in this church, and affirmations are a powerful part of our exercise of faith, because we know when we recite a saying, we internalize these words, and it becomes part of our delivery of ourself to the universe. So please, if you'll join with me in saying our affirmations. I am the flowing stream of life. I choose to live my life as a loving, harmonious expression of God. I rest in the knowing that everything is happening exactly as it should. Okay, thank you. Now, let's see right here. All right, now we will have our call to worship song. Maria? Wally, I'm sorry, there's been a change from my script.
I don't need that part for that. Just the microphone. Thank you. Hey, we're doing our rewritten words for Joy to the World, which I don't have printed out. So I'm going to look at the same screen that you're going to look at. Chip, stop interrupting the band. They got to play now. Yeah. Joy to the world, the truth has heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing, and heaven and nature sing. Joy to the world, my good now reigns. Let us our songs employ, while fields and floods, rocks, hills, and plains repeat the sounding joy, repeat the sounding joy, repeat, repeat the sounding joy. We rule the world with truth and grace, and make a nation's prove the glories of the righteousness, and wonders of their love, and wonders of their love, and wonders, wonders of God's love. All right. I don't have my script, so I don't know what happens next. I think it's Advent reading time. Yep. Is it that? There we go. All right, Advent readers, come up. And there's a lighter. You're lighting, yep.
Yep, and Ron is going to be my partner in peace today.
Yeah, you go up there and light while she reads. Two at a time. Oh, that I don't know.
Nope, I'll let you know. I'll cue you. Okay, settle down, people, settle down. Advent is a time of spiritual preparation for the coming of the Christ child, a time when we prepare our hearts for new birth. The Advent wreath represents this eternal renewal of life. Today, the second Sunday in Advent, we will be relighting the first purple candle, which represents faith. The first one. We got the Dollar Tree lighter this week. Go, Ron, go, Ron. Soon, we will also light the second purple candle, which stands for peace. Not yet. Not yet. I'll tell you when. No. In Job 22:21, we read, "Agree with God and be at peace. In this way, good will come to you." We envision the birth of Jesus as occurring in a setting of great peace. From this auspicious beginning, he grew to become the Prince of Peace, our way shower for living a life of peace, love, and compassion. We each have within us a deep well of peace. It lies at the very center of our being. Anytime we feel unsettled, anxious, or upset, we can return to the abiding peace of the Christ within. We can live peace, know peace, and be peace. As we light the candle of peace, as we light, it is peaceful. Okay. As we light the candle of peace, the peace candle, in recognition of this truth, we know that peace is always possible. During the recognition of this truth, we know that peace, wait a minute, the wording is a little small for my contacts today. During the Christmas season, we may find ourselves all caught up in being busy, so much so that Christmas turns into something we do, not something we enjoy. But even on the busiest of days, we are never far away from what the Apostle Paul called the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding. When we recognize this, we realize that peace isn't perfection. Peace is presence. Peace is attention. Peace is not getting rattled over things that don't really matter. In those moments, I remind myself, I am a living expression of God. I shift gears. I center myself, and I go about my daily activities affirming, God's peace is mine. All things contribute to the calm peace of my soul. Interruptions and inconveniences no longer upset me. My peaceful presence blesses me and everyone I meet. Thank you, O Spirit, for peace in my heart. Thank you for peace among my family, among my community members, among nations, and among all humanity. Thank you, God, for peace. Who's next? And now I'm going to have the beautiful Anita Shaver.
She just pretty much said everything I was thinking. But what I want to say that's different about unity that I love is that the spirit of the birth of Christ, that is the renewing of yourself. So when you think of the birth of Christ, you know you're starting all over fresh. So if you did something you regret, leave that behind, go on and do the new thing, the best thing you can do. That's how this is. I'd like to tell you that I'm the prayer chaplain today. I'm on duty. No matter what you're growing through or going through, the prayer chaplain team wants to pray with you about it. Seek one of us out after the service. Charlotte is one, and I think that's the only one that's here today besides me. Anyway, to be included in our prayer list, you can fill out a form or put it in the prayer box right here before or after the service. There's something really important about writing something down in your mind. It's like you believe it after you write it down, so I really recommend that. I've done it over the years and it's worked. Or you can click on the prayer request button on the website. Prayer works. So let's do it together. I invite you now to think of someone or something you'd like to pray and send some love to as we pray together. The following names are on our prayer list. Please pray for these people as well as who you've selected. Laura Beeman, Lisa Fuller, Sandra Dupree. Together, let us affirm that these loved ones are whole, perfect, and complete. We are standing with them knowing that God is already actively working in partnership with each person to grow through the appearance of challenges. Wherever we are, God is, and together all is well.
And as we remain in a prayerful place and release those people and those conditions, knowing that God is good all the time, so that it is already all right. We allow ourselves to feel that release. And as we feel that release, we feel peace. And with that peace comes joy. And now we are in the presence of God by simply going within. There is that private, secret place within our own consciousness, within our own minds, where only we can sit one-on-one with God. Then we say yes to that right now. We say yes to the good of God. We say yes to the good of this day because God is in it. We know that because we are in it and we are one with God. Thank you, God. Thank you for me. Thank you for the me that I get to be in partnership with you. For together we are one, and then together everyone in this room is one. and we go about creating the good in the world that we want to see. We let it be well. We let it be so. And so it is, and amen. So one announcement from me, and then Chip will come up. If you notice in the back, we have our Christmas tree with some felt ornaments on it. Thank you, Pam Pico, for creating that for us. The green wreaths are, I'm asking for one adult to pick. You can pick more than one if you want to, but we want adults in this church to buy gifts for our youth. Ideally, youth that you're not related to, because then the goal is that on December 19th, only in 2 weeks from now, we will we're going to have our Christmas service, and that adult will give the gift to that child if everybody is present, hopefully. But we do need the gifts here on the 19th. So if for some reason you get it and you can't make it on the 19th, you need to meet somebody and get it. So then the Gingerbread Men, we had a lady reach out to us I think I got the story right, whose husband died in a trucking accident earlier this year, and she's got 5 kids that she's looking for help for Santa gifts for. So we need all of that back here as well by the 19th. So when you get one of those off there is then 2 sign-up sheets on the table, one for wreaths, one for Gingermen, and you need to put your name and phone number so that we can check and make sure that we know who's got what and where it is. So thank you in advance for taking care of that. All right, Chip.
Thank you, Wally. And I have a couple more announcements for us. We are going to have a dream check-in with each other on Wednesday, December 8th at 7 o'clock. And I feel like maybe I should go to that because I had a strange dream the other day, and I'm trying to find if there's any meaning in it. I dreamt that I was sleeping. What does that mean? And I'm walking tired at least, or perhaps I'm walking asleep. Regardless, it might be time for a check-in for me. But we're doing that together Wednesday, December 8th at 7 o'clock. And then secondly, and the final announcement is that please be part of our Christmas festival today at Center City Park. We're going to be there from 12:30 to 4:30. And thank you for everybody in this church that came together to put that together for us, because that was a beautiful effort. And I'm really looking forward to enjoying myself there with you this afternoon. Center City Park from 12:30 to 4:30. And now we're going to have special music performed by one of my best friends in life, Elaine Penn. Yeah, she is my best friend.
I'm Elaine Penn. I don't think I'm on, Chris, okay? Hello, everybody. Again, thank you, and thank you guys for those beautiful prayers. And it's so good to see everyone here today. This is going to be another song about love. And I felt the need to sing it today because I've been thinking about the last few years that what we've been going through with COVID, and with the protests in the streets and the divisiveness in our country and across the world, and then knowing that it is love and only love that brings us back together. And it's those little things that we do. I broke my hip, y'all. And I was hobbling around the other day, and this guy comes up to me, and he had tattoos from head to toe. And I had to stop myself from being judgmental. I'm like, tattoo dude. Okay, he goes, can I pump your gas for you, ma'am? I would like to pump your gas. I'm like, what a sweetheart. So then I looked inside I was at Fuzzy's Barbecue. I looked inside, and I saw this woman, and she looked so lonely. I said, this guy just pumped my gas. I'm going to pay for her lunch. So then I turned around and paid for her lunch. So it's those small, random acts of kindness that spreads love across the world and helps this Christmas season, this Advent season, so much more special. Have a special treat for you today. A young lady named Caitlyn Sworry. Come on up here, Caitlyn. She's one of Dina DeHart's star dancers, those of you who know Dina. And just like the ancient people of the equinox of long ago know that movement enhances sound and enhances the word. So Caitlyn is going to do some, she choreographed it herself and a little improv. And I love her very much. Love her mother. I played basketball against her in high school. She kicked my butt, and yes, she was good. Her dad's famous. Caitlyn's a beautiful young woman, and so happy to have her working with me or partnering with me on this song. Okay, here we go, guys. Gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you in your sea of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart could understand that love and only love can join the tribes of man. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge. Feel free to sing along. Between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? It's our finest hour. We can do anything, anything. Keep believing in the power. Love can build a bridge. Y'all stand up, come on. Between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Let's do one more time. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? 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 A round of applause for Miss Caitlyn Sworry. Thank you, Caitlyn.
All right. Good morning, everybody. So it's my belief, especially when you want to make sure people remember things like our Christmas festival that we're having today, and it's like, oh yeah, that's happening, to dress like a clown so that you can't help but remember, and that is why I'm wearing this jacket. I will tell you that I turned down the invitation from my brother who owns this jacket of also wearing the matching pants and tie. But in all honesty, it wouldn't fit me. It's too big for me. So anyway, I do hope you'll come out and join us. And sacrificing has already been happening because on Friday morning, myself and Barbara Harris Hedden got up way before we get up to be live on television on Fox. I'm talking hours before we normally get up. So anyway, I do hope you'll come out and join us. But right now, before we do that, let's turn our attention to the lesson of today. And we have spent this year looking at a book written by Stella Terrell Mann called How to Live in the Circle of Prayer and Make Your Dreams Come True. So when we do the dream check-in this coming Wednesday, we can talk about things that happened while you were sleeping, but mostly we're talking about those hopes and wishes that you want to turn from a hope and a wish to something that's actually active and part of your life, that you're going to make those dreams come true. That's what we're working on. Do I have the circle on the graphic this week? I never know what I asked to put up. So 12 is up top. That's the one we're working on now, which is rest. We've looked at desire, decision, asking, love, faith, work, thought, spoken word, listening, accepting, making disposition or giving, and now rest. And there's also a nice partnership when you look at the circle in that if you look at the ones that kind of cross each other, if you were to put lines, across the whole thing to kind of make a star across the circle, like desire would match thought, and asking would match listening, and rest matches work. So you do some work, and then you rest. And there's importance to the resting, right? It doesn't mean quit, it's over, I'm done. And so that's what we want to, y'all are in trouble. I forgot to start the timer. We're going to be here a while. So here's a couple of, we like to look at the Bible and look at the metaphysics and get because that's where we look at kind of the map of our own consciousness and our own thinking to get to our happiest and best living. But I'm honestly not even digging too deep into metaphysics of this now. Let's look at here and the lesson that comes of the importance of the resting part, right? So in Genesis, where the famous line, which today's title was called, and on the seventh day he rested, on chapter 2, verses 1 through 3, it says, "Thus the heavens and the earth and all the host of them were finished. And on the seventh day, God ended his work which he had done, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work which he had done." They repeat things a lot in the Bible. Then God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which he had created and made. Now that sounds like the end, right? And it said that he had done all his work and he had created all the stuff, right? Except then in verses 4 through 6, it says, "This is the history of the heavens and the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord made the earth and the heavens." Now here's the key part, right? Because it's like, it's done. Earth and heaven created, right? "Before any plant of the field was in the earth, and before any herb of the field had grown, for the Lord had not caused it to rain on the earth, and there was no man or woman to till the ground, but a mist went up on the earth and watered the whole face." So in other words, in the resting time, part of it is you're giving yourself a break. You're giving your body a break to rest. That's why sleeping is so very important to us, right? You're also giving your mind a rest from thinking about it and that part, right? But in that process, you're also preparing for the next round. As we finish this circle of prayer, these 12 steps, and hopefully there are some extra dreams that came true for people throughout the year, and we really want to hear about all that, right? We're not done. We're just ready for the next step. And if you made a dream come true, like some of these don't take a lot. You can work all 12 steps and make it come true in 1 minute, right? You have that power and that ability. But if it's one that you've really worked for a while, and at some point you've been like, well, that's not coming true, right? So now you've built up a little resistance to it. It may take a little while. And until you're really ready to give up the resistance, it may take a long while. It may take 12 years instead of 12 minutes. That's up to you, though, right? But when you get to that stage of resting, the importance of the resting is that multifaceted thing. Your brain just needs a break. Your body just needs a break. And when you let it go, the new ideas start rolling in, right? So the heavens and the earth were created. And then in that resting time, it's like, oh yeah, we should have some plants here, and we should have some herbs here. And it's like, well, to keep that going, we probably need some people here to grow it, and then they're going to need to eat some stuff, so we probably should stick some trees in here, and right? Because then after that comes the creation of the Garden of Eden. And there's really cool metaphysical lessons to that we're not going to dig into today. But it's like, it says he was done. It said he was done, and he rested. But he wasn't done. He was just done with that phase. And we're all in that place too. As long as we're living and breathing and using these body suits, right, there's always going to be time to do some stuff, and then there's going to be time to rest, and then we're going to keep doing some stuff. Always, right? That life is activity, right? Because like total stillness, that's the death, that's the stop, right? So even when we're sleeping, like the whole reason you may have some wacky dreams or even some lovely dreams is because your mind is always working, right? But you're giving it a break from focusing maybe, or that sort of thing. Or how many of you have been like working on something, but there was some piece of it that you just couldn't get to the answer of, and you'd been working on it all week or all month or whatever. And then suddenly when you're like, I gotta leave this alone. I'm gonna set it down. I can't work on this anymore. And you're driving somewhere, and suddenly when you're not thinking about anything, boom, it hits you. Or, I've had those times where at bedtime, I'm going to sleep and I'm like, all right, I gotta figure this out. I need an answer to this tomorrow. And then I go to sleep and I get up and I'm in the shower and washing what hair is left. And then, boom, the answer comes, right? So it's often when you let it go is when you can actually get it. Know that if you believe, as I do, and I try and convince you if you don't all the time, you are one with God. That means you're attached to the omnis, right? Omnipresent, omniscient, all of that. So you're all power, all knowledge, everywhere equally present. So if the answer you need is in Timbuktu, you don't have to get on a plane or in a car to get there to it. You can simply connect, and the answer you'll connect to it in some way. It'll be a phone call or an email or a magazine article or whatever that thing is. Or somebody call and say, hey, I just won a trip to Timbuktu. That was a crappy contest, but and it was an extra ticket. You want to go? So whatever that thing is, when you accept, I don't have to stress about this. I don't know the answer right now, and that feels stressful because I feel like I need the answer right this very second. But I know that as long as I'm stuck in this place of I need something I don't have, now I've given my attention to don't have, which means I can't possibly ever get it. But when you let it go, then it comes. And then when you accept, I already know the answer is available to me, so I know it's going to come. And then I've got this next dream that comes true, and then this thing. As I said, early in our making our dreams come true this past year, I've got an agent as an actor. I've been auditioning through her. She's been sending me out since 2016. Cool auditions, better auditions than I was getting in LA. And but I ain't booked anything. I'd get compliments on this or that or whatever. And then it's like, all right, we're going to do this thing. And then suddenly I get an offer for a role in a movie. They've made a movie of the Judy Blume book, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And I went way outside my realm. They cast me as a minister. And but then it's like, before that call came in for that offer, 2 hours before that, there's this other show that's on Hulu right now called Dope Sick. And they shot that in Richmond. They brought me in for 6 different roles on that. I knew the casting people liked me because they kept calling me in. They're like, well, let's have you audition for this. And it started with a 1-line role. And then it was a 5-line role. And then it was 3 pages of dialogue that I had to try and memorize. And I'm like, can we go back to the 1 line? But, they kept calling me in. And on that day, they called to check my availability for one of the roles. And it's like, available. And then 2 hours later, the movie called and said, hey, we're booking him. No callbacks, we're just booking him. So then it was a Friday afternoon. I had to wait right? So, but I didn't do anything different except I'd started this dream series and I'd set as one of my intents, I'm ready to book some acting work in TV or movies or something. And then boom, something happened. I hadn't booked a whole bunch since then, and I wasn't starring in anything yet, but something happened by simply setting the intent and having something to work, and so having something to help walk me through some steps of doing something. So whatever that is for you, just try. Don't believe me. Like, there's a book. Go read the book and work it for yourself. And if you say, well, I don't have that book. It was written in 1959 and it's out of publication. We photocopied the whole thing. If you need a hard copy, we just need $10 to cover paper and mailing it, and we will mail it to you, or we'll have it here on a Sunday if you let us know. Or we can email you an electronic copy 100% free. You scan the whole thing in, you can have it. So, because we want you to make your dreams come true, right? So, the other part that I wanted to use as an example was we're going to jump from the Old Testament to the New Testament. And it said in John 19, 28 through 30, little famous part of Jesus' story. After this, whatever this was, Jesus, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scripture might be fulfilled, said, I thirst. Now a vessel full of sour wine was sitting there, and they filled a sponge with sour wine, put it on a hyssop, and put it to his mouth. So when Jesus had received the sour wine, he said, it is finished. And bowing his head, he gave up his spirit. So that sounds like the end to a story too, right? Except we know that what we know as Christianity that went around the world in all the various ways that people use it, I'm favored to the way we use it, right? But that wasn't the end. Nothing was finished. Just that moment was finished. He wasn't even finished, right? If you go by that story, then he got back up and went, in spirit to visit more people and walked around for a bit more before even ascending, right? So it says it is finished. It wasn't just that. The it was finished, not the everything was finished. There was a moment of rest. There was a moment of transitioning thought about it. And that's what we're all invited to do. Interesting on the metaphysical part about the wine. Wine, metaphysically, is the connecting part of connecting our souls and our bodies. And so sour wine was part of the releasing of that for him. So that's kind of a cool metaphysical lesson, right? There comes that time when you got to let it go, right? We all have some of those people in our lives, right? I'm thinking of one right now. I'm not going to say the name out loud, but I'm thinking of one. And some that I have let go. And after letting go, it became a much more beautiful relationship because we needed to end this moment because too much confusion had come into it, right? So we needed to take a break. Not a break like they did on Friends when where he then dated somebody else and messed the whole thing up. But not that much. They ended up getting married in the end, right? Anyway, the last part is Stella Terrellman wrote, and I think this is pretty cool, there are 2 truths about life. Failure to take time to rest always indicates a hidden fear, and all work should be done restingly. That means that when you give up the worry, if you're trapped in worry about stuff, you got to give it up. It's in the faith of this is going to be done that it can happen. It's in the knowing that you're perfectly able and capable and worthy and all of that of whatever your want is And that comes in the resting, or what I would also call the letting go, the releasing any of the tension and all that stuff. Do you know that the exercise of like part of when you're going in, sometimes for meditation and stuff, they'll lead you through the physical stuff, and you tense your whole body up, and you get the shoulders as high up, and then you drop it, right? The resting is the dropping, because that's when it's like, and then that's when you're available to see and hear and know the things that you were unable to before that moment. And that's what we're looking for in the resting. I hope that you've already worked these 12 steps and come up with some beautiful stuff. And if you haven't, I pray that you will, for you, right? And for us, because when you do that and you put that kind of beauty and joy and love in the world, then we all benefit from it. If only from the butterfly effect of it, right? Or maybe I'm your next door neighbor, and so now I get to see the pretty car instead of that rundown rusty thing you had before. Whatever the thing is, right? So that is it. Rest, love. Let me know if you don't have this book so I can please get it to you and you can use it. We're at the end of the year of talking about it every month. We're still going to talk about it for 3 more Sundays, but it's important. It's life-changing information if you use it. And it's been around since 1959, so the world should already know it. And since we don't, let's help learn it ourselves so we can tell somebody else about it. I love you. I bless you. I behold the Christ in you, and thank you for being here today. So now is our time for giving. So I would ask if you have your gift with you. Some people give it electronically. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But if you have your gift with you, I ask you to place it in your hands. If you know that you do electronic, I invite you to place your hand on your heart. And let us all say together, divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And now as the gifts come up, I will invite Anita to come say a prayer on the gifts, and that will be followed by Elaine giving us some more beautiful music.
All right, well, while we're taking up money, I want to recognize the people that were on the festival team. Barbara's one, I'm one, Dawn Dowd is one, Pam is one. Pam's with the kids, right? Yeah. So anyway, this has come together so easily. It was like 4 people sat in a room, and everyone had already had several ideas about what we would do. And like somebody came up with the idea for the festival. We blessed that person. Someone said, hey, let's have a cakewalk. We blessed that person. They're watching. And I have a new respect for Dawn Dowd. I loved her before, but I really love her now because she was so organized about getting everything, like keeping up a list of our vendors. We have 20 vendors. And it was just a miracle that everything came together. But I think when your mind's in the right place and you decide things are going to work out, they're going to work out. So I would like you to advance thanks for the successful over-the-top festival that we're going to have today. We're going to raise lots of money. We're going to introduce unity to the public because we need to. People need to know who this community is. And so I bless that. If you'll bring the money up, Athena. Athena. Isn't that a beautiful name? We bless Athena, too. And look at Pat with her ears. Her antlers. Turn around so they can see them, Pat. Okay. We bless this contribution to this community. We see this community growing. We feel the confidence in accomplishing tasks like this festival, like raising money for our church, like going out and telling everybody you know that you come to the coolest church, that it's so different, it's freeing. We invite you to be yourself. We remind you that you are newly born, that the birth of Christ is representative of rebirth in yourself. We thank God for this church, and so it is.
did take a nap. Wally, what a great service. Wasn't that beautiful, you guys? It was absolutely amazing. Anita, beautiful prayer. I really loved when Wally told me what the talk was going to be about. Rest. When I first came to Unity in 1986, I am old, I am 57. When I first came in 1986, we were taught then, and he was talking about the oneness now because we've progressed a lot, but we were taught then that there's many paths to the divine. And then we take the path that we're comfortable with, we can rest in the arms of God, of the Creator. So that's why I chose this song today, El Shaddai by Amy Grant. And El Shaddai is Hebrew for the Creator of the universe, who is always the same and will always bring us peace, power, and presence. And so, you know, I don't care who you sing to. You can sing to any religion or your own faith. You could go sing to a tree, as long as it's bringing you the comfort of the creative force of the universe. But this is called El Shaddai, and most of it is in Hebrew. So forgive my mispronunciation if it happens. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, El Elyon, Adonai. Age to age, you're still the same by the power of the name. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Elyon, Adonai. We will praise and lift you high, El Shaddai. Through your love, through the Ram, you saved the son of Abraham. Through the power of your hand, you turned the sea into dry land. To the outcast on her knees, you were the God who really sees. By your might, you set your children free. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Elyon, Adonai. Age to age, you're still the same by the power of the name. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Elyon, Adonai. We will praise and lift you high, El Shaddai. Time of Christ was near, though the people could not see how your spirit sets us free. Though your word contained the plan, they just could not understand. Your most awesome work was done through your love in everyone. Sing with me. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Elyon, Adonai. Age to age, you're still the same by the power of the name. El Shaddai, El Shaddai, Elyon, Adonai. I will praise and lift you high, El Shaddai. El Shaddai,
Thank you. Thank you, Elaine. And in case we want to thank our band, we're making our first Sunday of every month our band Sunday, so we want to make sure everybody knows that. So we want to thank Dave Fox and Neil Clegg and Jack King for being here as well. Yeah, and so on those first Sundays, we're going to have extra music for singing and dancing and all that from 9:45 to 10. So you guys should do January 2nd. You should be back to do that. Not on January 2nd, though. I'm going to be out of town. But at some point. Anyway, thank you all for being here today. I know some people are going to just wait and join us at the park later on today. So thank you for coming here for this part of the important day, too. We do want to remind you this Wednesday at 7 o'clock on Zoom, we're going to do the Dream Check-In. If it's your first time coming, please come. Let us help support you in making your dreams come true. Please look at the kids back there on the, not the actual kids, but the possibility of buying. I invite you to pick somebody who you don't know at all. If you've not done that, my mom created a senior angel tree program that we do in Rockingham County, and there's great joy in buying for somebody that you don't know. You're just working off the thing, and you're letting spirit connect to spirit and picking a gift. But it is important to have that gift back here by December 19th. And that's it. So come to the park. We're officially open 12:30 to 4:30, but we do need people there, especially at 12 o'clock to help with the load in. And what? All right, let me finish. And the load in or load out doesn't mean you have to carry heavy stuff. We're going to need some people to stand with stuff while people go get their cars to get it. So we can use all that. Normally you can drive in and drop off and drive in and pick up, but because of the big Christmas tree downtown, we got to cart it in and cart it back out. So we could use as much help as possible starting at a little before 12, and then again at 4 to 4:30 to get it all back out. And then just come and have fun and bring people. This is our chance to raise money. It's our chance to market. It's also our outdoor Christmas party. So come party up with us. What you got?
Wally's really humble and doesn't want to talk. He's actually a really good singer. He's going to be singing with Penn Family Music, both sets, and he's also going to be singing in the later set too. So if you want a treat and get to come to hear this guy sing, I hope you show up.
Thanks. I'm doing one song per set, so I'm doing one for each of the Penn sets, and then Amy and Tal and I are going to do one song together. So, yes, so come out and party with us on all that. What's that? I thought somebody else said something. All right, so that's it. Let's sing the peace song, and when we're done, if you'll help clear the chairs, but then packing up slightly different of everything else, let Chris guide you, because a lot of this has to get packed up and put in a car to go to the park. So chairs for sure, stack against the walls, and then whatever Chris says. All right, let us sing the peace song. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And together let us say, the light of God surrounds us. The presence of God enfolds us. The power of peace protects us. And the one presence that lives within all creation enlivens us. Wherever we are, love is, peace is, light is, God is, and all is well. Go have a beautiful day.